My one-pot French onion pasta is easy, elegant, and delicious. Hi friends, welcome back to The Casual Foodist. I'm Brianna and today we are making a delicious French onion pasta. It's got tons of flavor and the best part is everything's made in one pot. Let's get started. So this French onion pasta is going to take a lot of inspiration from the flavors of the classic French onion soup. We're going to start with 3 large onions, which we're going to slice and then caramelize in a couple tablespoons of butter and some olive oil. To that, we are going to add in some sliced cremini mushrooms, several cloves of garlic, and really when it comes to garlic, you can't add too much. And then also a little bit of thyme. Then to the onions, we are going to deglaze them with a little bit of either sherry or white wine, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce for a little bit of extra richness and umami, 4 cups of beef stock or chicken stock, whatever you've got on hand, 12 ounces of rigatoni pasta, you can also use orecchiette, a little bit of kosher salt and ground black pepper, and then we're going to finish off our sauce with a little bit of heavy cream for some richness, and then about a cup of ground Gruyere cheese, or if you don't have that, you can also use Parmesan cheese. So, one of my favorite tricks for avoiding tears when I'm chopping onions is to pop them in the freezer for about 10 minutes, and this will help to neutralize some of the sulfuric compounds that can kind of cause tears or irritation to your eyes. And really, it just makes it a much easier process especially if you're chopping a lot of onions. So we are just going to chop off the root and stem ends of each of our onions. And then we are going to cut them in half. And then we're just going to slice each half of the onion into about 1/4 inch thick slices. And I do have to say my freezer trick is working. I have not had one single tear yet. Now we're just going to slice up about 8 ounces of cremini mushrooms, and this is just going to give us a little bit of extra meatiness to our pasta as well as some umami. And then last but certainly not least, we are just going to mince up several cloves of garlic. All right, so we are going to start by caramelizing our onions, and we are going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, as well as our 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And we're just going to wait until the butter melts. All right, now we're going to add in our onions. And this seems like a lot of onions, but it will cook down. Then we're just going to add in about a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. This is going to draw the water out of the onions and allow them to caramelize a little bit better. And we're just going to give our onions a good toss in the butter and olive oil just to make sure everything is coated. While the onions are cooking, I'm just going to take a moment to go ahead and shred up my Gruyere cheese. And I always recommend shredding your cheese from block form. Buying blocks of cheese is always going to be a little bit more economical, and the flavor is going to be a little bit fresher. All right, and we are just going to need about a cup of our Gruyere cheese, but I'm going to set this aside and let those onions finish cooking. So our onions are going to take about 30 minutes to caramelize, and we want to go ahead and give them a good stir about every 3 to 4 minutes. We are about 18 minutes into this, and you can see the onions are starting to cook down and become a little bit golden brown and jammy. All right, so our onions have cooked down quite a bit, and we are just going to add in our mushrooms and our garlic. And if you ask me, you can never have too much garlic. 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme, and then about another good half teaspoon of kosher salt, and a few twists of ground black pepper. All right. We are just going to stir in those mushrooms, and we're going to let this cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now we're just going to add in about a 1/4 cup of sherry or dry white wine, and then about a tablespoon of Worcestershire, and we're just going to deglaze the pan or scrape up all those yummy brown bits at the bottom, and that's where a lot of our flavor is. All right, and this is already smelling fantastic, especially with that sherry. And we are just going to add in our beef broth. Again, you can also use chicken broth if you'd like. And then our pasta. All right, so this pasta has been cooking for about 12 minutes and it looks like the pasta is done. So we are just going to finish this. And we are going to add in the best parts. We've got about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and this is just going to make our sauce nice and velvety. And then our 1 cup of Gruyere cheese. And we are just going to stir in our cream and our cheese until the cheese is all melted. All right, and once that cheese is melted, we are ready for dinner. So this French onion pasta is rich, creamy, and perfect for your next dinner. So good. You can find a link to the full recipe below or at casualfoodist.com. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Casual Foodist for more recipes like this.